Here we go then, boys and girls. Life as a championship club, albeit a skint one, starts here. Hello and welcome to part 83 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first two games in the Championship. We're away against Sunderland and at home against the team who finished one place above us in League One last year, Ipswich. If there's going to be a game we're able to win, it's got to be against Ipswich. If we haven't picked up at least one win in this video, it's going to be a long, hard season. There might also be more in the way of transfers midway through the video as well, because we've suddenly discovered some money. Don't look at that. Look at this. This is the only relevant bit. That's for nerdy accountants to worry about. This is what we care about, and that means we've got money. So this is the team we're putting out there for the first day of the new season, away against Sunderland. What a ground to go to on your first day, by the way. This is a bit of a baptism of fire. It's like a big cup game, but it's just normal league stuff. So we've got Humphreys in goal, a back four of Wearmouth, Wright, Vujacic and Gregson, Harrison at the base of the midfield, McCormick and Sawinski in central midfield with new boy Moss in behind, Matondo and Harris up front. This is where we're going to start to discover if this team, which is definitely strengthened from last year, we've strengthened in some key areas, Moss, Harrison in particular, but also making Wright and Wearmouth permanent. Some decent backups have come in as well. Matondo's back. It's a stronger team than the one that finished last season, but this is where we find out if that's going to be close to good enough to survive in the Championship. I don't know how good Sunderland are, other than the fact that I know they were in the Championship last year, or the Premier League potentially, but they didn't come up with us. And, you know, traditionally, they're a big club. I see this as a big test, and I guess we're going to find out if we're any good or not. They're using the dirty, exploity 3 up front tactic as well, which I think is incredibly unsporting of them when we're not very good. But here you go. Perhaps we'll do an upset. Sawinski running clear. We've got a bit of a counter-attack on here. Sawinski plays it forward to Matondo, who can't get on the end of it. I mean, there have been plenty of times in this series already where we've expected an absolute thumping on the first day of the new season and surprised everyone, including me. Maybe today will be another one of those days. I do think, though, this is the hardest promotion you do in Football Manager, League One to the Championship. I know people often talk about Championship to Premier League, but for me, Championship to Premier League, you've already got a lot of money from being in the Championship. If you've made it out of the Championship, the jump isn't as big into the Premier League as it is from League One to Championship. League One teams, you can have non-league losers like us playing in League One and fluking a promotion. McCormick has scored. Luke McCormick, first ever goal scorer for home in the Championship. And there we have it. It's his first goal for us as well, according to the thing at the bottom. Well, he is playing in a more advanced position than he was playing in last year, so I guess he will get into goal scoring positions a little bit more. We're 1-0 up away against Sunderland. But as I was saying, yeah, the jump League One to the Championship, I think it's the biggest jump. You go from being a team that has full of non-league players to playing against teams that were in the Premier League the year before and teams that can spend 10 or 15 million pounds on a player. It's such a jump. But we're 1-0 up after 25 minutes. So let's just enjoy ourselves, eh? Working on the Kev ratio. Let's just get points on the board as quickly as we can and see where we end up. Sunderland countering. They're probably going to score here. We're all over the place. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Oh dear. We need new defenders and quick. Yeah. We are all over the place here. Their front three against our back two, because both of our fullbacks were pushing on. Our defensive midfielder was up with the midfield. And yeah, we were just outnumbered, and that's how you counter-attack against home, everybody. You put 3 up front, you let us have the ball, you let us attack, and then you do that to us. It's pretty easy, really. That's how you score goals against us. I'm not going to do anything to address it either. I'm just going to hope we score more than them. That's how we roll. Ball forward. Anthony Harris picks it up. Matondo is ahead of him. And now we've got a 3-on-2. There's Matondo. Matondo is... He tried to backheel it. Sawinski was with him and he tried to backheel it. The stupid moron. What was he thinking? He just slots that across to Sawinski and we're 2-1 up. But oh no, he tries to be Mr. Fancy. And it's still 1-1. Which would still be a cracking result, by the way. Right, head's clear-ish, not very far. and now Sunderland on the attack again, and it's just wide. Humphrey's had it covered. We don't need to worry. Humphrey's always had it covered. We are operating on a much smaller squad this season as well. There's going to be... We've kind of got down to a squad of sort of 23, 25 players, of which the likes of Paul Perry are now in them, and you're going to see more of him. He's a player you've wanted to see more of for the last 2 seasons, but we haven't got the likes of Cannon getting in the way of him now. Will Swan, players like that. So expect to see decent players on that bench and the same players more often. Wearmouth's done brilliantly here. And kind of didn't know where it was, but still won it back. McCormick now plays it across to Harrison. Harrison to Sawinski, who had time but finds Moss instead, and Moss just over from Moss. And we're looking good here. Wearmouth again is looking very good on this left-hand side, and it falls to McCormick. McCormick back to Harrison. Is this a replay of the previous move? Sawinski to Harrison all the way across to Gregson in space, who cuts inside weirdly. Finds Harrison. There's Wearmouth. I mean, that's our fullbacks are so attacking. I love it. And look how well they're playing. The problem is when the other team attack. But we're just going to pretend that doesn't ever happen and keep enjoying the fact that it gives us so much width and so many attacking players when we're going forward. Right, we are going to make some changes. What changes are we going to make? I want to get Lerick Fernandez on. Fernandez on for Sawinski seems like a sensible change. And then... I guess you lot want to see this one, don't you? His first appearance in the Championship. Mick Powell. If Mick Powell scores in this game, I'm going to give him a knighthood. There you go. There's my promise to you. He just has to score in this game and he becomes Sir Mick Powell. But he is a bit of a tall order because he's a non-league player who's now playing in the Championship. I keep giving him contract extensions. He's going to be here for life. He's never leaving. But I don't think he's going to score today. Moss can come off for the other new boy, Furlong, to see how he is. He's a 6'4" playmaker who we're playing in behind 2 short, fast players. So it's a bit of a weird setup up there. But we haven't done any passion. Let's finish the game with some passion. But a 1-1 draw, if we hold on, assuming we do hold on, a 1-1 draw away to Sunderland, that's a cracking result for the first game of the season. If we can go and beat Ipswich at home now, then we can start to dream just a little bit. But first, let's see if our new director of football wants to bring me in any more loans, or if anyone spectacular shows up who I want to bring in with the little bit of money we've got left. The transfer window is closed. We have brought in a couple more players. I just want to show you this first, though. Player wage expenditure in the Championship. So Blackburn are spending £1.3 million a week on wages. If they gave us their wage bill for a week, they'd clear all our debts. And we're spending £70,000 a week on wages. This is what we're up against this season. Sunderland, who we just drew away at, £275,000 a week on wages. It's absolutely nutso. So, players that we brought in, and obviously we can still bring in free transfers, so we're still going to offer trials to as many of these as are currently unattached, which doesn't look like very many of them, actually. Some of these would have been handy to show up 5 minutes ago before the transfer window had closed, but I was trying to show you the players we brought in, but this has distracted me. There we go. So, players we brought in. It wasn't just me. Costas got involved as well. So, firstly, I've brought in this guy, Drew Nixon, left back with potential. Just a youngster who was released from Man United to sit in our under-23s. Miles Roberts is just another option as a goalkeeper. And we only really had 2 because we sent these out on loan. So, yeah, he's come from the Evo Stick Southern Premier. I don't want to talk about it. This guy, Costas, has brought him in. Alan Rogers, 20-year-old centre-back, 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. He's as good as Ross Wright. We have a good centre-back partnership now, which is handy. And then lastly, this is another of mine. Joe Roberts is a 20-year-old striker, pressing forward, so fits into the system we play. He's only got 2-star current ability, but 4-star potential ability. He was languishing down in the National League, where he hasn't exactly set the world alight, but 4 goals from 4 starts for Telford. He was super cheap, loads of potential, so he's in as well to come and sit in our under-23s and maybe start to put some pressure on as the season goes on. But that brings us to the end of the transfer window. We are still within all our budgets and we could still bring in youngsters. So a successful summer, which will be made even more successful if we can now go and beat Ipswich. So a couple of changes for the Ipswich game, one planned, one very much not so. New boy Rogers comes in at the back with Vujicic dropping down to the bench, but we have a little bit of a problem at right back already. Transfer window closed a minute ago. Gregson's picked up an injury and he's going to be out for... Oh, he's got a cold. For goodness sake, play with a cold. Daly Campbell's still not fit to play either. Nick Moss, our attacking midfielder, who's on loan from Stoke, is apparently the third best right back at the club. He's a competent right back. He's going to be playing at right back today, so Furlong comes into the side behind the front two to make his full debut. This wasn't the plan at any point, but apparently that's what we're doing now. We're playing him at right back. I'm not pleased. Hopefully Ipswich don't notice. Nick Moss, never heard of him. I assume he's on loan from Stoke. Matondo's on loan from Stoke. He must be a really good right back. Let's not try and exploit him. That's what I'm hoping the thought process is. We're going to try and avenge whatever happened last time we played Ipswich. Considering how dominant they were in League One last year, presumably they battered us, and there's a very good chance they'll batter us again today. But I do remember what happened last time. Andre Dazelle happened last time, didn't he? And Dahlberg, who seems to be in every other video on this channel, because I play against him in this series and with Sevilla, because in that universe he's a top La Liga goalkeeper. In this universe he's just come up from League One to the Championship. He's just everywhere. I had him at Fulham as well in non-league to legend. Pontus Dahlberg just follows me about the place. Here's Wearmouth, who's miles far forward again. Furlong, all 6'4" of him, tries to tuck it away but hits the post. Furlong does look massive. I like having a massive player in there. He makes Harris look tiny. It's brilliant. I should probably swap him over. Play the quick, short one behind the big lump who can get on the end of stuff. But here is Anthony Harris showing me why we're not swapping him over, because he has the first goal at the Serenuk Nuhu Stadium in the Championship. A very full-looking Serenuk Nuhu Stadium. This is quite promising. I wonder how many of these are Ipswich fans. They look like Ipswich fans. The other three sides of the ground, though, all look like they're wearing home shirts. I guess some of these, that could be like a mix, which would be a little bit weird. There's a lot of white shirts in there. We don't have a white shirt. So is that an Ipswich away shirt that's sort of mixed in with the home fans? Or is just a lot of people turned up in their undershirt because the replica kits are no longer available? They've figured it out. You can't buy the shirts anymore. We just have to wear plain white ones. McCormick, out to Moss. Right back, remember. Crosses into Matondo. It's home to Ipswich 0. Nick Moss is a right back. There was a lovely cross from Moss at right back. He's not going to be any good at the defending, but pushing forward the way my fullbacks do, he might be the perfect attacking wing back for me. It's a lovely cross, a lovely header from Matondo. And our free scoring front two from last year, who I think finished last season on close, I think it was like 55 goals between the two of them last season. They're both off the mark in the Championship to put us 2-0 up. And as it stands, up to 7th place in the Championship. 6th place. We're pushing for the playoffs. Premier League, here we come, boys and girls. Forget all that negativity in yesterday's episode. We're pushing for we are not pushing for the Premier League. We'll be happy to be to still be in with a chance of surviving on the last day. Wearmouth has wanted a goal all episode long. And there you go. He's got one. I can't believe that's his first ever goal for us. We're not playing him in a different role to what he played all last year. But it seems that now he's a permanent home player. He's decided to start turning it on and fancies himself as a bit of a winger on this side. And he was up there constantly in the last match. He's hanging out there again today and scores. And it's home 3, Ipswich 0. And I know we're not going to do this to many teams this season, but in this game, we look fantastic. Right, I don't even know what to say to him at half-time. Yeah, I'm very pleased to keep it going. That's all I can say. I don't think anybody expected us to be 3-0 up at any point this season. Furlong plays it out to Moss, who's a flying fullback now. Moss might never play as an attacking midfielder again, because this set of players seems to be working. Wearmouth's in again, and there's Harris again, and it's 4-0. And I don't understand. I don't understand. You could put this down to promotion momentum, but Ipswich got promoted with us. They were champions last year by a mile. But I guess we did have a very good run of form at the end of last season. We were the form team in League One. Although you wouldn't have known it watching those last couple of episodes. I don't claim to understand. I don't want to understand. Moss showing he can't defend, but it doesn't matter because we're an attacking team. We don't care about defending. Defending's for losers, as we'll show here. Oh my word. Oh my word, we can't defend. Right, Humphreys, just save it. Show that it doesn't matter. As long as we've got a keeper who saves penalties. No, we don't. I don't think they're going to score 3 more times in this second half. There's every chance they might, but let's hope they don't. Humphreys wasn't that far away from making that save. Still wearing the number 72 as well. We don't change squad numbers here at home. Once you get it, you've got it for life. Unless you're Lewis Tyler, in which case you have to give your number 10 to Anthony Harris when he comes back. And then you end up losing your place in the team. And then he's not got a job now. Losing his squad number ruined his life. Right. Changes. I would like to be able to take Furlong off, but I haven't got anyone to let me push Moss further forward. So I think what we are going to do is we're going to bring Lerick Fernandez on in midfield and Shane Phillips on for Harrison, because Harrison's on a yellow card, and we'll just freshen up that midfield a little bit. Shane Phillips deserves his Championship debut. Fernandez is a little bit hard done by. I think that he's kind of the one who's fallen out of that midfield 3 that looked so good for last year. But I still don't think Fernandez and Sawinski can play together. And I think Sawinski's better than Fernandez. So that's why we're going with McCormick and Sawinski at the moment. And if we don't win this game now, it's because Fernandez and Sawinski can't play together. I'm going to blame it entirely on that. It's now home for Ipswich 2. We're showing once again that we can score goals, but we can't defend at all, despite bringing in new defenders. I think probably the one player we really needed to have an upgrade on was the goalkeeper, and we didn't manage it. Should we try and get Dahlberg, as he seems desperate to be the star of these videos? He's just always about, can't turn my head without Pontus Dahlberg being there, just grinning at me. Right, let's take Rogers off. He wasn't properly match fit before the game started. Bring the experience of Vujicic on, who, by the way, made his international debut in the summer. Is it Macedonia he plays for? Oh my God, we are going to... Right, I know it's a bit late for concentrate. Come on, it's 4-3 now. This is getting silly. Oh, we're going to throw this away, aren't we? Just don't. I've overwhelmed them by telling them to concentrate. It's not that complicated an instruction. Just stop conceding goals, you tool bags. Oh, Ross Wright, almost. I thought Wright was going to score another one of his free kick specials. Dahlberg was brilliant there. We need to scout him. We need to bring Pontus Dahlberg in. He feels like he's going to be my goalkeeper. Furlong can't quite get there. It's with Wearmouth. The game is surely all but over. Wearmouth again to Phillips. Just don't give the ball away, Shane. Do not give the ball. Fernandez tries to play Wearmouth in again. We've got Harris in the middle. There is Harris. Can't quite get there. Furlong can't win a header despite being taller than a mountain. Phillips to Sawinski. I like the fact we're at this end of the pitch at the death of the game. Moss should not be that far forward. Moss and Wearmouth are two of them. They're level with the strikers. We've basically got 4 attackers, but we did manage to hold on. But we do need to give them a little bit of a what on earth happened in that second half, you numpties. But importantly, we've ended that episode unbeaten at the start of life in the Championship. That will do. That will absolutely do. So we will come back in the next episode, which is Sunday morning's episode. We will be back. We want to do a chunk of games. So I guess somewhere, we don't want to show Stoke because Moss and Matondo won't be able to play. So we'll come back for Charlton and Norwich, I think will be our next 2 games. That seems reasonable. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.